and I get a lot out of it. I know that to be true because you all keep telling me that it's so. When we ask our honored guests why they came to a Toastmasters meeting and what they hope to get out of it, the answers are very familiar. Number one, terrified of public speaking. Two, my job involves dealing with the public, so I need to hone my speaking skills. Three, networking and leadership. Four, I'm in sales. Five, it looks good on a resume. I joined for the most important, best reason in the world. A morbid fear of public humiliation. Interestingly, it's not our custom to have one of our own relate their own journey for our guests, other than to say something to the effect of, yeah, I hear you, you came to the right place. Which is perfectly understandable. We have a meeting to conduct, speeches to give. Usually, the appreciation of a member's struggle comes through months and years of watching a member stand in front of a group, make their icebreaker speech with that deer in the headlights look, which more often than not progresses to, I saw no visible signs of nervousness. To illustrate that point, I'm going to cut through the months and the years and tell you about the first time I gave a speech, or rather, didn't give a speech. April of 2003, my soon-to-be graduating class at the University of Baltimore were to present their thesis projects to the student and faculty for our MFA in design. I'd never given a speech of any sort. I broke all the rules I didn't know about. So many rules. Give yourself time to write. Write for your audience. Have a clear beginning statement, which tells the audience what your speech is about. Several supporting statements. Give the audience a purpose, a clear way for them to act on that purpose. Make eye contact. Use vocal variety. Use body language to punctuate points. Give it a punchy ending. And that one word, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Sitting, waiting my turn, watching people walk up the aisle, turn around, and give their big crowd of 50 their 2-minute presentation. My mouth was probably open in awe. These people have done this before. What the hell? Where did they learn to do this? This is not happening. I had failed before I'd even begun. Mr. Frank Walsh. I rose to my feet, made my way to the front, turned and read my short statement. Blah, 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 blah. And for about a minute and a half stood frozen to the floor, with my eye on the timer, waiting for that 2-minute signal. Go, walk, sit. I took my seat to listen to the rest of the speakers. Whatever I had done, it was not a speech. The next speaker was a woman I knew from class. She turned to the audience, shaking, took a deep breath, and said, I'm going to get through this. She did. She was shaking, her voice was quavering, but she got through it very well. Sound familiar? It took the most embarrassing day in memory, 13 years later, and my wife Claire to bring me to the realization that I could begin to overcome my stage fright and improve my speaking skills. I still break the rules, case in hand. Looking back on that most horrible day, near panic, standing in front of a group of one or more persons and telling them anything other than my name, height, hair color was my normal. Toastmasters changed everything. I've now given 10 speeches, some table topics, and I haven't, until recently, explored all the opportunities for improvement Toastmasters affords its members. Toastmasters magazine is the most rewarding read. I wish I'd read more of it before this. In the October issue, I read Speechwriting 101, wherein 3 professional speechwriters, Toastmasters all, gave their own methods for writing how they wrote their speech. Methods that work and that you can adapt to your own personal style. The October issue also had an article called The Feeling is Virtual, which couldn't be more timely for our club's foray into online conferencing. The best resource, Toastmasters, are you, its members. Whenever I've been confused about how to do something on Easy Speak or how to run a contest, all I have to do is ask a member, and if that member doesn't know the answer, they can generally point me in the right direction to get an answer. Or write an email to the International. They're our members too. I asked a question concerning some odd security alerts on a Toastmasters webpage based in Dublin, Ireland. Was it a legitimate club? If so, why was my security software getting all twitchy every time I tried to contact them? I got my answer the next day. It was a legitimate club. Something about their software competing with mine. Mentorships, a biggie. Barb Rudin can attest to the fact that I still haven't made the most of her being my mentor. My bad. You get all this and more for the feloniously low price of $102 a year, a steal by any measure. What have I gained from Toastmasters? As a member, I've filled roles in the club, from timekeeper to augmentaria to evaluator, and look at me now. Club president. By design, this club has members who give me the confidence and encouragement to move out of my comfort zone, make mistakes, and show me how to correct some of those mistakes. One of those mistakes would have been to give a speech other than the one I'm giving right now. For my speech number 10, Inspire Your Audience, I had months ago decided I was going to conduct a drawing class. My mentor and others thought it was a great idea. Obviously, it never happened. I kept putting that speech off. Why? After deciding on my present speech, a few answers came to mind. One, I had never taught a drawing class. Beyond a few instructions, I had very little to say that might constitute an actual speech. How about a preliminary story? Something about the importance of using your art as a communication tool. I couldn't imagine why, how it could proceed. I couldn't settle on a format. Note, even with the progress I know I've made, I know I'm not ready for the drawing class yet. But someday I know I'm going to give that speech and it's going to be great because I'm learning from the best. Any day, one of you is going to make your great speech. And then you're going to make another better speech without notes. It's inevitable.